I am an environmentalist. 2 years ago, I started to travel by bicycle. This decision was not only to reduce my carbon footprint, but also to help me get closer to nature. I was at an intersection. Suddenly a speeding sports car hit me from behind. Both my bike and I were knocked off our feet. I remember the impact was so violent that I fell heavily to the ground. I felt severe pain and I felt that a few ribs had been broken. Fortunately, there was a traffic cop nearby. He helped call the emergency services. Since I was already in a coma, I was not clear about what happened next. Shortly after the accident, I emerged in total darkness and I lost my sense of direction. In this strange and scary place, I heard some strange noises coming from the distance. As the sound drew closer, I perceived it to be an evil creature. The creature was surrounded by flames, it had huge eyes and teeth, and it kept growling. Its eyes were full of malice, and I sensed the evil aura from it. I saw it stick out a very long red tongue. I could not move, as if there was no way to escape. The evil creature was rapidly approaching me, gaining speed. I stood helplessly in place, and all I could do was close my eyes and hope to escape this terrible threat. The creature passed through my body, and the flames around it tried to melt me. The demon let out a gleeful laugh as it seemed to enjoy the pain it was inflicting on me. I was in an endless state of despair and fear. Just at that moment, a mysterious power surrounded me. It was like a huge hand holding me tightly in its grip. I began to move upward quickly. I found two new demons approaching me. They had different colors on them, but they were equally frightening. Soon after, I came to the entrance of a black tunnel. I stood there, staring into the black tunnel, with questions and fear in my mind. I didn't know what was at the end of the tunnel, but I knew that the only way to find the answer was to go inside. I found the atmosphere inside the tunnel even more terrifying. The tunnel was very damp. The tunnel seemed to have no end, making it easy to lose one's way. Through the faint light, I saw some symbols and patterns on the walls of the tunnel. Sometimes, I felt as if these patterns were moving. The tunnel was not a very straight passage, but had various forks in the road. I lowered my head and was surprised to find that my body had disappeared and I was now a ball of light that shone blue. I noticed that there were other luminous bodies just like mine wandering through the tunnel. They emitted different colors and glows. We wandered through the tunnel at random. Suddenly, two glowing white luminaries appeared beside me. I felt the warmth and sense of security they conveyed, and I followed them onward. As I proceeded, I encountered many forks in the road. Some of them led to hell. As I approached those intersections, I heard screams. I saw a wasteland full of bubbling excrement, the stench of which was unbearable. There, the devil tortured those people in all kinds of cruel ways. They suffered endless pain and suffering. I continued to fly in the tunnel. In another tunnel, I saw a completely different scene. A group of people were walking with their heads down on a barren yellow field. Their eyes were hollow and their expressions were confused, like a group of zombies. I didn't dare to get too close to the entrance, because they gave off a disturbing aura. It was as if they were bound by some kind of power and could not get out of their predicament. I followed the white luminous bodies as they continued to advance. They entered one of the entrances, quickly. As I approached that entrance, I saw a dense forest with a huge waterfall next to it. The sun shone on the waterfall and the water droplets glittered like diamonds. I walked into this amazing forest. Some of the trees seemed to emit a colorful light. In this magical forest, I met many strange creatures. There was a creature whose whole body was covered with flower petals, each of which emitted a charming fragrance. Its eyes were a bright jewel, shining with a gentle light. It was about the size of a cat. It kept weaving in and out of the flowers. When I came close to it, it gently touched my fingers with its soft petals. There is another creature that looks like a fish, but it has a pair of translucent wings. Its scales shimmered with a seven-colored light. It flew gracefully through the air. As I approached it, it rested on my shoulder. It made a soft chirping sound. I felt a special connection with it, and it became my guide and friend in this forest. It led me through the forest. After we passed through the forest, a huge building appeared in the distance. As I approached the door of the building, two tall and majestic angels suddenly appeared. They wore white robes, and their wings glowed brightly. As I was about to walk through the door, one angel reached out and stopped me. The angel took out an ancient book with names written all over it. He pointed to the names in the book and told me that this was the list for the day, but unfortunately my name was not on it, so I could not enter yet. This news confused me. If I couldn't get in, why was I here again? The angel then took me into a room next to it. This room was like a library with books on the shelves. Some of the books were very thick, while others only had a few pages. I saw an angel standing in front of the bookshelf, holding a delicate quill in his hand, writing on a book. Curious, I approached the angel. I asked him what he was doing. He explained that he was recording each person's experience. Each book is a unique story, a precious experience. Angel asked the angel if the book of life contained everyone's experience. The angel smiled and nodded and said, "Yes, the book of life records each person's journey on earth, whether it be joyful or sad. Each person's thoughts, actions, and feelings are recorded in detail." The angel went on to tell me that when a person dies, their book of life will be audited. The purpose of this audit is to evaluate whether or not they can enter heaven. At the same time, the angel also reminded me that the book of life can be modified. When a person confesses to God and sincerely repents, the bad things they have done will be erased from the book. This is the opportunity that God gives to human beings. I was very shocked. No matter what faults a person has committed, he or she has the opportunity to revise his or her book of life through confession. The angel went on to explain that there are only two special dates recorded in the book of life. One is the date of birth, which marks the beginning of one's time on earth. And the other date is the day of rebirth, which represents a person's complete dedication of his or her heart to God. I asked the angel if I could look at my book of life. The angel shook his head and refused my request. He told me that although I was curious about my book of life, it was not the time for me to unveil its mysteries. He gently explained that I still had a duty and a mission on earth. My family needs me. I was disappointed and frustrated to hear such a reply. My heart longed to stay in this place. I had no intention of going anywhere else. I tried to express my confusion and longing, but the angel interrupted me. He again emphasized that it was time to leave. Although my heart yearned to stay here, the angel's words also reminded me that my family needed my company and support. I knew that leaving this place did not mean giving up, but embracing new challenges. The angel encouraged me to take what I had learned back to earth and to pass on love and kindness to those around me. The angel reached out his arm and gently touched my forehead. I felt a warm energy. He told me that God's love and guidance would always be with me wherever I went. As I left that gate, a gentle breeze blew across my cheek, seemingly a blessing from an angel. I felt a light energy envelop me. I began to descend rapidly until I was back at the hospital. My family waited anxiously in the hallway, their eyes filled with worry. My spirit was close to them, but they seemed unable to perceive my presence. I longed to communicate with them and tell them that I was okay now. I knew that I had to get back into my body right now. I focused my attention and my soul slowly began to merge into my body, and I could feel the temperature of my body. I could feel my heart beating. I slowly opened my eyes. The doctors were amazed at my awakening. They could not explain this medical miracle. But I knew that it was all by the grace of God, who had given me a second life. Although I could not describe my experience to them, I knew that this experience had really happened. I will cherish every moment of my life and pass on love and hope to those around me. My return was a miracle and a rebirth. After this experience, my life has changed dramatically. I have a deeper understanding of the meaning of life, and each day is seen as a precious gift from God. I no longer waste time on negative emotions. I realized that every moment in life is special. This experience has awakened in me a deep understanding of love. I know that love is at the heart of our lives and that it can bring miracles. I actively pass on and share love, whether with loved ones or strangers. I am involved in charitable causes, hoping to bring warmth and comfort to those in need. I want to be a supporter and encourager in the lives of others. I understand the illusory nature of material wealth and that true wealth lies in inner satisfaction. I no longer seek personal success, but the ability to make a positive impact on the world and bring joy and change to others. At the same time, I have learned to care more for myself and take care of my physical and mental health. This experience has led me to explore religion more deeply. I sought guidance and wisdom by meditating and praying to establish a closer connection with God. I strive to be a kinder person with the guidance of my faith. I know that I am not alone and that God is with me. His love will always guide me. The book of life is real. For those of you who have done something wrong, I want to tell you that each of us has the opportunity to change and be reborn. No matter what we have been through, no matter what mistakes we have made, we all have the power to start over. We can learn from the mistakes of the past. Don't get caught up in the past and don't be bound by the way others define you. Believe in your own inner strength, in the power of goodness, and it will lead you to a better tomorrow. Remember, we all deserve a second chance because life is about the journey of change and growth.